Okay, and welcome to another episode of Devongunsmith Diaries. This is a tale of two guns. This is going to be one of those Frankenstein jobs. Let's see what we've got here. Oh dear. Oh dear. Let's get into it. If you enjoy the content, don't forget to like, subscribe and click the notification bell. So the story is that the gentleman was out in the hide shooting pigeon with his friend. His friend, he had his gun high to port, pointing out of the hide. His friend swung his gun round and shot the end off. So, loving his Merkel very much, he found a donor to provide the necessary parts, a barrel and stock. So, this is the lesser of the two actions. This is the nicer action. And what I've got to do is inlet the donor stock with the action. Some of the work has already been done. An engineer has brought this onto face for him. Don't know what I think about that, to be honest. It's one of those situations, people do things and bring them to you. So I've got to check this on the face, but first got to work out what this is. This is the donor parts, so we'll put them to one side for now. So let's see what we can do. It's a matter of marrying all these parts up. Now, obviously, the action has a different serial number to the barrels. That's okay, as long as you keep the barrels on your UK certificate. You can actually join these together and make it work. So this is what the task is today. So we'll put the barrels to one side. And we're just going to start working on this. Now, somebody saved me a bit of time by hacking this up. And this is a single trigger action. And we'll have to look into this a little bit more. Oops, yeah, it all falls apart. I have to figure all this out, see what we can do. It's one of those interesting little jobs. I don't know what I'm going to do until I'm doing it. That is literally the truth on this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of a look at the dimensioning on the broken stock first. And see, this doesn't fit. That was the complaint. The inletting's been done, but it doesn't fit. And it stops it changing over. So there's a bit to do here. So of course Merkel is a nice German-made gun, and fully understand why he. Oh, I see. Right, that's an interesting situation. Gonna have to check the dimensioning very carefully there. Don't think it's as deep. So we will have to see, guys. Ah, yeah, there is some differences already. I see differences. I wonder if this can even be done. That would be a good question, wouldn't it? So one of the things you can do, I don't know where mine is at the moment. I need to find my lamp, an oil lamp. And then you smudge black up with this. And then you offer it in. Having taken the screws out first. Yeah, that looks like there's been some, you know, some stuff done. Doesn't match up entirely, does it, obviously? Oh, I can see that that's super tight. That's too tight already. I wasn't really sure whether I was going to actually feature this one or not. It keeps trying to fall apart. But content is content, and I think you guys would appreciate it, and you probably deserve it. That's almost there, you know. It's in fact, oh, it's a bit tight there. I could almost wing that, almost. So I'm trying to see why it won't. If I can get this in the camera eye, why this one? Right. Oh, it's doubling. Okay, that's not good. This is hard to do in front of the camera, guys. Really difficult. Yeah, this is a bit weird. Don't know what to say here. Made a lot harder by being on camera, I can assure you that. So let's have a little look at this on the dimensioning. See how different it is. If it is indeed different. What am I missing? This is the pressure. You get under pressure because you've got the camera running. I'm not going to lie. Somebody's going to be shouting at me in the text messages. Oh, you don't know what you're doing. Well, I had one the other day saying that I didn't know what I was doing. I thought, yeah, so that's easy to say. Something funny here. Safety off, safety on. There we go. Right. Not going to lie, this is a challenge. Let's get this into this and see what we can do. I'm thinking he's got something wrong with his action. It's not just a simple inletting job. Yeah, I'm beginning to wonder. This might be one for regular updates, but not watching the whole damn thing because it gets too boring kind of thing. Let's see what we can do. Right, well, so I've got a little situation here with doubling. So I'm going to trouble a little drop of oil in here. Bearing in mind this gun's had a terrible shock, literally, and I've been really knocked about. So how am I going to do this for the camera's sights? Alright, let's see if we can do it. Because I suspect this is going to be a bit of a pain. Right, so on the Merkels, the barrel selector, or the trigger selector, should I say, is underneath. Safety obviously acts like that to stop the trigger lever coming up. So, hammers. So not strikers, because they have firing pins or strikers. Okay, that's ready to fall off as well. I'm only discovering it as you are in real time, guys. There's a tiny little screw there. That's had a little bit of a bash, I think. Okay, well, pay attention to that. So I'm trying to get on camera. Let's see what I'm doing here. How to cock. So I'm going to use a piece of wood to cock that. Only it doesn't want to cock. Okay, tricky. See if I can push it into cocking. Yes, it will. And then this is not how I work. I don't work with a camera shoved under my nose. Right. So there's something going on with that sear. And if you see in here, quite a nice little selector bar comes across to make it prioritize which. Whoops, just so close everything is. Right, this is not the main job, guys. Just to let you know, it's the inletting is supposed to be the job. And he said he couldn't get it to cock second barrel. Did you notice that? So what he was calling second barrel was the one in front of us here on the left. And it's got a sear problem. So that's a completely separate job. In my vanity, I accepted this job, knowing that it was going to be a nightmare. Oh, here we go. See, it's going to be doing this all the time, isn't it now? So there's a little bit of a weakness there. Right, I'm going to sit down for this. So we're going to just drop this in, if I can. You actually see it better than I do. That's what annoys me about this. I should have goggles on, shouldn't I? Right, if I just set that, there we go. Okay. You actually see it before me because I'm working at arm's length all the time. More fool me. There you go, it's dropped in. Right, so that's it, locked in. Okay, lovely. It's just going to fight me, isn't it? Little blighter. Right. Screws. Right, let's just get a screw in and hold it all together. See what we can do. This is going to be the next problem, isn't it? It turns out that not only is the inletting tight because it was probably not finished, we're going to have an additional problem with the lock as well. I won't be surprised at that because it's taken a hell of a walloping, and this is it's not guaranteed. Okay, so that's the action as it stands. Very briefly, we're just going to put it in the barrels. Now these are the donor barrels, obviously, so that creates another interesting issue. And I'm going to struggle with this, I think, with the camera. Okay, that worked. That was lucky. Right, let's zoom out a bit. There you go. I'm working out of my comfort zone because I've always got the camera in front of me now. Right, so it's not the easiest way to do it. Let me just try and manage this better. Okay. Safety off. Selector. Which one do we want to do first? Well, this is the problem one. So let's select the other first and see if it doubles. That doesn't, and that changes. Lovely. This is a mechanical trigger, not a inertia trigger. Yep, okay. I've got a feeling I'm going to have to push that across there. Make it hold. Yeah. So that was rising and lowering back down again when my customer's explaining it. it's consistent with failing to. So that's the lever that indexes back the selector. Yep, that stays there. That's where it should be. Lovely. I do like it. Purely for my own pleasure, I'm actually enjoying it because it's a nice gun. They are of quality. Okay, so yeah, this is not the easiest thing to do like this. Bear with, please be patient, guys. Don't just start trolling the minute you see something you don't like. Although, to be honest, carry on. YouTube doesn't care. It's engagement. That's one of the things you've got to realise about YouTube. Okay, so other side. No, that's the same side, isn't it? Door. Oh, it's a little bit of movement there. It's probably a bit artificial doing it like this, to be fair. And okay, so that sear's holding now. I wanted to get this trigger group off actually, but I wanted to get the wrong word. Trigger guard, not group. Right, okay, so this is just fanning around to see if it doubles. No, it's not doubling. I've got a feeling I need to do a bit of tuning on that though. Just the same. Sorry, was that not on the camera? Right. I think this needs a damn good clean. So not a problem. We'll look into that later. Main job. Let's get the inletting sorted now. I've got half a chance now of getting somewhere. So this is the original action, which is a single selective trigger. The donor is a double trigger, and that's what it is, the difference. And obviously the stock profile is slightly different, but I took the job on, so what can I do? I've got to just carry on, haven't I? Okie dokie. Let's see what we can do here. If you don't challenge yourself and grow, you know, I could do nice easy Berettas all day long, couldn't I? Berettas and Barukus. Actually, that wouldn't be so bad either. With a nice little side-by-side thrown in. Actually, it's all good. It's all good. I love what I do. So let's see what we can see. Well, my screws disappeared. All right, okay. That's more work demands, I suspect. Pinging in as we speak. This was never really meant for this stock. Alright, stand up for this, Paul. You can probably see what you're doing better. I actually can't see what I'm doing at all. Oh, okay, I get it. I see what they were trying to do. This is tight there. So I need to find my lamp and black the action and then see where the marks that are left behind, although I suspect I know already in there. Yeah, this is interesting. Well, we're going to have to work on this a little more. So, moving on swiftly, the original was a round pistol grip, not to be confused with the Prince of Wales. typically used for single trigger actions, such as this one. And it's still broken, and I don't blame him for not wanting to fix that one, because it's lost a lot of stuff. I've arrogantly accepted the job, so I've got to do it, or at least try to do it. Obviously the round pistol grip changes the dimensioning here to a degree, and they've obviously put, him and his pal have obviously put the trigger guard from the straight grip, so created a Frankenstein gun. So we don't need to look at this now, do we? But what we have got to do is make that fit that, and I don't think it's going to be a easy job. There's just too many. I can see one of the key points already. Right, I don't think I need the lamp black. It's that blinking bad. I can just start chiseling away. They've used marker pen, which is an old trick. I've done that before. Nothing wrong with that. It's a workable job. There's definitely pressure here. You can read the signs. There's an indentation there with the screw from the spring on the top part of the frame. There's pressure around here as well. I reckon I could just set two with a... This is what's fouling up the set of the hammers, or the tumblers, if you want to be pedantic. They're not strikers because it's separated. It's not a dog tooth striker like you've seen before. I need to trim this out anyway. Blathering on here. I'm going to do it off camera, guys. I'm not that brave. Okay, let me see if I can get this in line for you. Can you see how the camera angle? Try and find a pointy thing for you. Some of you sharp-minded people might have spotted it already. So excuse the bent toothpick, but see the changeover selector? It's rubbing against this side here. There's plenty of room this side. It's not sitting in squarely. But if I push it in squarely, it's still fouling. So I need to take out a little bit like that side on this side. And this is not going to be good and wholesome gunsmithing. This is going to be, well, it's going to be a cowboy job. I know that's what everybody's going to say, and I think I'm going to agree with them. Because when you start to offer this up, ding, right. Trying to do this on camera. Making jobs for myself here. Crikey. It's not that difficult. No. Anyway, you can see what's happening. This inletting here needs to be taken off. Oops, sorry. Needs to be taken off here and here to let that meet up. But there's something else going on in there, and I need to address that too. But I can't do it with the camera under my nose. I need to be able to get my head in. My head needs to be about here. So I'm just going to have to give you little updates. So for next part is to... And the dog's barking, great. Allow the selector to move freely, because it's not freely moving at the moment, and it's not to do with the way this sits. So see you in a minute, guys. So it's dirty and rough, but it is cleaner now. So it's not work you can take pride in, really. I've got to be honest. It's a little bit weird. So that doesn't fit yet. It's tight at the front as well. I know that it is. Right, can you see the clearance now? We're getting there somewhat. There's me pointy. Here's me pointy stick. Right, can you see there's clearance there now? Only just. It shouldn't be that much, and I'm sure some of the gun professionals out there will be slating me for that slackness. It should be no more than a few thou, but you can see there's clearance there now. If I can get it into focus, yeah, there you go, you can see it's clear. Because see if I can replicate it. That's one. They both double. They both sorry, both went off at the same time again, which is what it's doing. But if you notice now, it's catching again there. So we go on. For those of you who are delicate of temperament, there you go. One of the things is, if the finish is not right, it's on me. So I'll put it right. I've got the materials, I've got the equipment, I can do it. That's why I don't worry. That's why I might appear a little blasé. But I know you all flinch when I'm putting things on the table. Anyway, to crack on. Yes. Now, I'd normally use this more like a draw knife, like you would in the old pattern making days, using that kind of motion, but because the way we're placed here, I'm just gently paring it away. So that lumpy cut surface that was there, I'm effectively planing it off. This doesn't bode well. I know a lot of my gentlemen in the trade would just refuse the job and say no, get a proper job, or they'd want to restock it. But we're dealing in funny times in the shooting industry, and gentlemen still want the work done. Okay. Foolhardy. Anyway, you see, it's not a lot, but it will look a lot when it's done. Right, so it's not completely finished there, but let's just see what we can do. And some of you will be hollering at me saying you should use lamp black. Yes, I should. Quite right. There we go. Set the tumblers again. Tumblers, hammers, whatever you're comfortable with. Get a bit tetchy sometimes when people tell me I should be using certain words. It's like, well, on that. So let's just talk about the different parts. In London, this is a steel, old chap. It's a steel. But up in the Midlands, where a lot of the gun quarter is, where if you offered a cup of tea, you would say, oh, you want a cup of tea, or? That is known as a stale. It's a stale, mate, all right. I'm from the Peaky Blinders. Yeah? Peaky Blinders. Stale, not a steal. So, that might be known as a tumbler, might be known as a hammer. This could arguably be called part of a bridle, although it's actually part of the frame. Sears, mainspring. I wonder what they would call that. I refer to it as the selector, but there's probably a clock name for it. I don't profess to know all the names, and to be honest with you, it doesn't matter whether I know the names. Can I fix the gun is more importantly the case. But I do like that though. It is a really nice trigger group, that is. I like it. I like it a lot. Anyway, moving on. I've trimmed out this a little bit, endeavouring to smooth out the finish. It's all by hand. You can see what I've done there already. It's improved greatly. I don't want to take any more out because it's all loss of strength. Now, I already know by just offering this up that I need to inlet here and here because there's no alignment there, if you see. You see? I've got to push it in quite a way. So I know I'm working towards a particular angle. Ow, and that is sharp. Right, so this is not set in correctly yet. You can see, oops, sorry. The camera's right up my nose. It is, and it's getting right up my nose as well, to be honest. See that inletting there? I've got to make it so that it's only just free. You don't want to take any more wood out than you have to. I'm going to see if I can replicate this hammer release. It's not a good way of doing it. But... right, so the selector works. But it did double. It doubled. Okay. Look, I'm going to just get on with this. That's the best thing I think I can do. And maybe I'll just get you guys to listen to some music, perhaps. And if I can find my lamp, I'll put some lamp black on it too. But to be fair, this is well and truly butchered. So anything I do isn't going to really make that much difference in terms of how bad it could be. It's been properly chopped about and stuff. So to look at the anatomy, all of this is pulled apart. That area there is flat, you see? So it's quite handy to have this broken gun. You can see how flat, and you can actually see the rasp of the file there when it was first made in Germany. Can you see those rasp marks? So they've basically just broached it out with a file, much as what I'm doing now. Yeah, I've got a ways to go yet. You can tell that by just dimensioning it. If I can find my calipers. So if we take that measurement there, you know, put the lights on. Okay. Yeah, I can easily take another millimetre at least out of that side. Just check that again. No, that's not the side, it's this side, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, well, there's a bit of a bias there. I suspect that is due to this dimension here needing to be eased a little more to allow it to slot in there. And we can see how clean that works. Yeah, I'll probably leave the camera running, but I'm not going to do a commentary, but give you a bit of music to listen to or something, I suppose. Let's just see what I can get on with. I need to crack on. Right, well, it's still not perfect. Oops, sorry, off the camera. Still not perfect. Its dimensioning is not right. It's getting there. There's still a bit of a gap here. So I'm going to have to inlet that a little bit more if I can get it to possibly allow. It's allowing me to fire and select and change, so it's not doubling now, so that's a good thing. But it's got an ejector problem. And it's not helped by my gentleman customer constantly saying, is it ready yet? Is it done yet? Is it done yet? Is it done yet? And believe you me, that's the most irritating thing of all. Because obviously he's only got the one gun with me when I've got loads of other customers to deal with as well. I'm going to have to probably leave it there on this video, only because it needs a bit more work, and this is not going to be one of those satisfying endings either. It's just going to be exactly what it is, bearing in mind that that's what was fitted before. Oops, can't see. Yeah, this filmmaking malarkey isn't all it's cracked up to be, I can tell you. So that's what was there before. So we will have to see. As you can see by my tea towel, not a lot was taken out. It wasn't a complete butchery. There will be a little bit more fiddling. I haven't got the time to keep filming and doing and filming and doing. It's distracting doing the filming, to be fair. But it's nearly there. It needs a little bit more tweaking. I'm not going to record it. I'm going to call it a day on that. So it's been great having with me, but I need to focus on this without thinking about the next frame and the next, you know, angle and all that malarkey. I just need to get on with the job. It's almost the end of November now, and so I really need to crack on because I've still got game guns to get fixed and out before the season finishes, because people leave it to the last minute. Well, there it is, guys. Thanks for visiting.